All right, folks. Welcome to what should be a pretty banger series. We've got Dogao, the legend from Brazil, and he is here in the red, playing as the Vietnamese. And he's up against a Vietnamese player, the only Vietnamese player in Platinum, ACCM. And ACCM is just always so well prepared. It seems like his level never drops. And there's just a level of intensity and fight that he enters into these games with, which is just insane. So he's playing as the Hindustanis. I'm kind of predicting that ACCM will win this series. But a big part of that is because for this round, Dogao is still away from home. For those on YouTube, you'll have that edited on screen by Hardy. Dogao posted a photo like a week and a half ago that he was playing on top of a sink in a hotel. If he actually played from that setup, he played insane, and he got a win off of Vinch. I didn't predict he'd win at all the first two rounds because he'd be traveling. He got a win off Vinch. He looked good. And I think the maps here are probably pretty good for him. Like, none of the maps where you have to really be focused on a lot of different spots are there. I think Cross would be really bad if you're not playing from home. These are a lot of standard land maps, which typically Dogao's pretty good on, so... Hindustanis, I'd expect the scouts. Vietnamese, I'd expect the same. Dogao's going to take the woodline at the bottom to start. And then ACCM's going to take the woodline at the top. What is this comment in my chat? Someone says, T90 has the energy of the guy who wears a fishnet body stocking to the metal concert. And I'm here for it. I'm sorry? What? What about me sends off that vibe? I mean, at least you're here for it. At least you didn't get that vibe and leave. No way. That doesn't sound like me at all, man. How dare you guys? How'd you know? Did you see me? Were you there too? Were you that guy who wanted a selfie with me? No, I'm kidding. See, this is why, like, I really like live streaming. It's a lot of fun. But this is definitely one of those moments where I really wish I didn't do it, you know? It's the confidence. Is that what it is? Okay. No, I'm the guy at the concert who tries to blend into obscurity. You think I want to draw attention to myself in public? No way, dude. I don't want to interact with anybody. I'm going to jam out in the crowd, have a good time, have some drinks. But, you know, I'm the guy who's 31 years old who wears earplugs at concerts because my hearing is starting to go, and my brother told me years ago that if I didn't do it, I would regret it. That's me. I'm the guy who's got the earplugs in. So I don't lose my hearing more. I've got kind of a genetic thing, too. So my dad, growing up, always had really weak hearing in his right ear. Now, my dad said, jokingly, that the reason he didn't have good hearing in his right ear was because he's the one that usually drives, and my mom is always sitting next to him in the car talking. My mom didn't like that joke. But I think it's genetic. I don't think it has anything to do with my mom, because my brother's right ear is also much weaker, and now my right ear is also much weaker. So, I wear earplugs at concerts, and I don't really regret it. Because I could still hear the music, I could still have a good time, and ear problems are serious, so I'm trying my best to avoid that. So we just saw a game on this map where both players docked, and now none of them dock. That's pretty crazy. That's interesting. Now, Chinese and Persians are the top two civs on the map. I think they're the ones that economically can justify it without having other downsides to their play. But nice little bit of variety here. There should be scouts for ACCM. Should be scouts for Dogao as well. I just haven't seen the barracks yet for Dogao. I'm sorry, I'm looking through chat, and I just hit a wall of exhaustion. So chat, you gotta help. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can we talk about these arrows for a second? Listen, chat, pay attention. It's not the fact that the arrows didn't hit the scout. Watch the trajectory. I'm pretty certain the trajectory was wild. Watch this. Okay, first volley. Normal. What the? No wonder the arrows don't hit anything. Are they throwing them or are they shooting them out of a bow? Look at this. Seriously, I've never seen anything like this. How does that how does that happen? And do they do damage? Okay, so it's 20 HP for the scout. What? That's ridiculous. Of course they don't do any damage. What is that crap? I've never seen that. I don't know if that's because of the direction they're shooting. I don't know if that happens every time and we just never noticed it. But that is absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, carry on. ACCM almost loses his scout, which is the main thing we should talk about. And that's pretty rough for him. And Stable now coming up for Barrack's just now coming up for Dogao. So that'll be a little bit late. But he doesn't have to worry about being behind in the scout number, because the opponent's scout is essentially dead here. And Joyce says no damage. T90 they hit. I think the next volley hit. But yeah, it might have had something to do with the direction the scout was. I've just never seen the visual on that before. So there we go. Dogao, kitchen sink micro. You wouldn't expect it. And kitchen sink micro, turns out it's pretty good. He's going to go for the full walls here. Walls in his wood line. It is going to be scouts from ACCM. And I think it should be good for the Vietnamese if the Hindustanis aren't really able to harass too much with the scouts. But there's always going to be some damage to do. There's a very exposed map up here. Should I call it Hotel Sync? I think this is a new thing. I feel like I need to have a picture of everyone's setup before we do a prediction contest for tournaments now. I think I would look at Doubt's setup, and I would not predict as many wins for him. Imagine if ACCM didn't run into that TC. It's pretty wild you do that on this map. You should know they're in the middle of the hill. But there might have been some other reasons for that. Quick walls from Dogao. Pretty smooth. His scouts are over here. I don't know if ACCM knows the scouts are over there. He's gone for the wood line here. Walled it in. And then just drops the house there between the wood lines. So Dogao will have to run around. Feels like we'll see an archer transition. And ACCM scouts are needed somewhere else. And Dogao goes for the Vil pick, but there is a spear there from ACCM. It's a small thing, but ACCM did snag Horse Collar. I think considering the fact that Dogao's Vietnamese and your eco upgrades are cheaper, I feel like you would have wanted him to get that. It's not the end of the world. Like, the key is just getting as many farms down as you can. But if this is to be Cav Archers later on, that's going to be at a point where your farms are reseeding much earlier, and you won't have the wood for the CA. ACCM's walls are weird to me. Like, he's walling like you could wall to the edge of the map. And you can't, because of the rock terrain. So, Dogao's just going to run around. ACCM scouts just massing up back at home. ACCM's never really had the scout numbers yet this game. But he's got the spears to protect. He seems to be waiting, knowing Dogao's going to be over here, and he's got the spears, and Dogao sees it. And so Dogao will back away. And there's the range for Dogao. I really like what he's done with this wood line. So many people wouldn't do this, but I think it makes life easy. Now, I think he will also overchop that tree at some point soon, so we'll keep an eye on that. Dogao's scouts get hit a couple times from ACCM, but there's more scouts on the way, and he's starting to bring archers now. If ACCM doesn't know his opponent's got archers, this wood line could have some big problems. He'll obviously add more scouts to match. We might see a lot of scouts. I personally am in love with playing Hindustanis because I'm the type of guy who wants to make lots of scouts. And I hate it when you make scouts in the opponent's walls. Hindustanis don't really care about that. They could bust through some houses pretty quickly with the anti-building bonus, so. Man, like, if I wouldn't have shown you guys the picture of Dogao's, like, vacation setup, you wouldn't know. This is playing really well, man. Double range archers, too. The double range archers plus 9 scouts, and ACCM's going for the more typical approach of hoping to get to Castle Age faster, but scouts get hit a couple times. Dogao still chasing down the scouts, and Dogao's taking some really good fights. Hasn't lost a unit yet. Just did as I said that. But forcing the issue through this opening, what a weird fight. Come on, T90. Every hotel room has a table, desk, or drawers. He's not playing on an ironing board on the sink. Dude, I don't want to pull a what's your elo moment because that'd be disrespectful. But if anyone gets a new keyboard or a new mouse at this level, it takes time to adapt to even that, even if you're sitting from home, you know? So my perspective is, if you're playing on a rented laptop and you've traveled across the world, you're not gonna. That's tough, man. That's really tough. So I personally would disagree, but Dogao is clearly making it so it doesn't look like he's out of his comfort zone at all. ACCM scouts are here. They'll snipe a villager on the berries, but ACCM has big problems on this wood line, and he did not know that there were archers from Dogao until this very moment. And with fletching in, I think villagers should die here. That's going to be one down. That should be all of them down. I don't think this tower goes up. Wow, man. So, if this would be the first series I would have seen from ACCM, I'd be saying he's dead. But based on, I mean, it's ACCM, but based on how he played against Capoch and how aggressive Capoch was, I think ACCM is going to have the belief that he could maybe still hold on here. He barely has wood. He won't be able to easily complete this stable. He could maybe drop a tower. He just collected a little bit more stone. But, I mean, Dogao could be through the stable pretty soon. I think Dogao needs to keep his archers on the stable. And then ACCM can't build it. ACCM will maybe hope for light cav, but Hindustanis can't make knights. Kind of a wild one, though, because Dogao's food eco is not great. His wood eco is also kind of awkward, too. But this position, I mean, ACCM is going to lose the stable, and he's probably not going to complete the other one. He loses another vill. He does snipe some archers, but he doesn't snipe enough archers to really be happy. There will still be more archers there from Dogao. And ACCM, he won't even be able to get light cav. You need the stable for the light cav upgrade, so you're just going to have scouts with no armor here? And he does drop the TC. It's just running away. It's kind of crazy that they can pop out between the enemy units there. But I guess ACCM is just going to hope that this army doesn't kill him. And then he can boom back into the game. Dogao still hasn't clicked up to Castle Age. He's got really healthy army, though. Really healthy eco. Woodline's overchopped, but that can be fixed. And there's the light cav upgrade. And the light cav upgrade is going to be denied. So the only thing that he'll have would be the scouts. Oh, sometimes you'll see players try and do too much. They'll be too aggressive and they won't leave an important position. Dogao's experience there. Uh-oh, he's getting baited. Oh, God, he's getting baited into the TC! He's getting baited into the TC! He lost the vill! Okay, well, I mean, Dogao's experience there, he knew that he just needed to stay there. I think that was just Dogao reacting to the raids from ACCM. ACCM fails to snipe a vill, but he's on 2 TCs. He kind of has wood eco. He might get the villager lead. Dogao can't end the game right now. Feels like this is going to be an adaptive type of game. And now ACCM is going to sneak out to complete this tower. Maybe get back onto the wood line. Maybe he eventually gets a 3rd TC down. Dogao's collected 1,300 more resources. He's going to have a crazy crossbow mass. And he kills off all the spearmen there from ACCM. Freezing Point saying he thinks ACCM is fine. I mean, fine considering the circumstances, I guess. I think a lot of times you'd expect someone to die from this position. When you can't get any realistic counter damage in, and then your opponent has this much army, but... I mean, ACCM will surpass him in vills, because he's been on this TC for so long. He gets back to wood. He did get a bit of counter damage. I think he just killed 2 more villagers over here a second ago. Dogao can instantly drop TCs, but Dogao cannot instantly end the game. So yeah. TC will go up. He might drop a TC on the hill because he's sick and tired of chasing down some of the Lycav. But now, like, these crossbows are a very real threat compared to what we had before. And ACCM drops another TC up on the hill. I swear, if I didn't know that Dogao was not at home, I'd think there's no way he loses this game. But it's just, after seeing ACCM come back against Capoch, after seeing how many vills he lost like 80 vills in one game. And it was just because he was faster to TCs and would not die. Definitely feeling like ACCM's got some chances here. Chat, has anyone had issues with watching the stream today? Has everything been all right? I found out the issue with my drops was likely a Windows update issue. But I've seen a couple people saying they're not connecting well, so I don't know. It's been perfect? Okay, cool. Thank you. I mean, the Scorpions aren't going to make life easy for Dogao. It's kind of frustrating, but I think he honestly needs to base his game plan around keeping ACCM on the hill. Because ACCM's got no coverage on the lower areas of the woodlines, the golds, the stones. But, like, these crossbows is maybe the difference maker in the game, and the crossbows can't necessarily hit anything right now. ACCM's forcing reactions a lot. And Dogao will have lots of cav archers on the field, though. Pyros has some freezes, but that's just my internet. Okay. There are a couple people saying they're dropping frames. Can you tell me if other streams on Twitch are giving you issues or what? Is this a normal problem? Is this a new problem for my stream? I mean, I'll look into it after. It may be Twitch, but like the issue I was having was these random drops because of a Windows update. At least that's what I think it was. So Yashiman says we don't watch other streams. Well, some people do. Some people do. But other people don't. All right. Thank you, guys. Next question for chat. Who wins this game? 10 villager lead for ACCM, but he doesn't have, like, any resources at the bottom of the hill. He wants to drop a castle. He clearly wants to go for some golems. But that castle is... Well, that's a production castle. That's a golem production castle. That's all that is. Castle will go up if you place it there. Dogao could possibly be a little bit more active with the cav archers, but having said that, what are you even going to do with them? Where are you going to go? Snipes another vill, snipes another vill, snipes another vill. The siege workshop from Dogao. Dogao's been very patient here. ACCM still trying to just use random units to raid. But he hasn't really been able to find the opportunities because Dogao's always waiting. That's a crazy amount of cav archers. I guess the fact that Dogao's just been sitting there means ACCM never expects it. This could be bad for these crossbows, though. If you go too far, you're never getting back. Wow, Dogao's so smooth. So 3 TCs for ACCM, 4 TCs now, so super sneaky. He's not going to die. This game will go imp. You can't kill ACCM. I've learned that. Everyone should have learned that. I think against ACCM, you just have to go 4 TC boom every game yourself. Because you're not going to do enough damage to stop him. But here come the CA. Ballistic still isn't in. Dogao's got 50 army against 15. He doesn't know the castle's up. But I think cav archers is fine against Golem and Castle Age. You do 8 damage against 5 pierce armor, that's fine. You need ballistics, though. And ACCM is going to be as annoying as possible and split up the Golems and get to different positions. And you just see the camels headed this way. There's the siege now from Dogao to push ACCM off the wood line. Yeah, and Ranger Alpha in chat kind of took the words out of my mouth. I think outposting here for Dogao would be massive. Getting some vision on if ACCM ever expands to these areas is really critical right now. And so on Acropolis, ACCM will only have a tiny little bit of control on the outer regions, which usually is not a positive. Look how 50 army, dude. This is crazy how much army he's got. But he doesn't know about Ghoulems yet, which is crazy. Cav archers run through. Dogao immediately dives. Dogao should kill all the siege. He'll take the scorpions. He takes the mangonel. Even underneath the TC, doesn't seem to care. He's bringing his siege to pressure. The Ghoulems are now raiding him. They don't have full armor yet, so the TCs will take them out pretty quickly. And Dogao is going to force ACCM to respond to this somehow. Look at this. ACCM's hoping there's resources in the corner. He can't see it, actually. And the Ghoulems, I don't think there'll be enough here. I think the CA and the Knights could deal with that. I mean, ACCM could land a massive shot here. Oh, God, and the Cav Archers are out of position. The Cav Archers are out of position. Yeah, it feels as though this will all go down for Dogao. The micro for Dogao is good considering, and he's able to find some villager picks here, and he's killing off the Ghoulems here. But he's still 20 villagers behind somehow, even though he's killed so many. And if only Dogao would have noticed this, that would have been another 10 vills killed. I'm just not convinced Ghoulem is it right now. I'm just not. If it's Elite Ghoulem, it's a different situation, but they only have 60 HP. ACCM, man. He just keeps booming. ACCM is the perfect player to play Hindustanis because he doesn't care if he loses vills because he's always going to make more. And the vills are cheap with the Hindustanis. They're just throwaway units. You don't need to value them. 5 TCs now. I think what Dogao might want to do here is... Look at that tower. Dogao might want to go forward castle and end this game with a faster imp or something. Oh, God. I don't know what that was. Dogao still can't see that wood line. And he doesn't know that ACCM escaped here. Outpost, man. Outpost would be so important for Dogao. But he finds the vills. All right. Well, I mean, the tower saves 5 of them for now, or 4 of them. Knights are looping around this way. Quick walls from ACCM. He also has monks to convert the knights. He actually switches the conversions to the full HP knights, which is crazy. Dogao has to micro the CA all the time against the Ghoulems. Still, though, that's decent damage for Dogao. Now, does he notice this? This Vill. This is Ron. You guys will remember him from the Black Forest game. Ron's the MVP. And that's going to change this game. Dogao has been looking for targets this whole game. He wants to kill. And now that he knows about this, he could actually kill some exposed economy. It's harder to boom and micro CA than it is to boom and make Ghoulems here, but Dogao's eco is fantastic here. Ron died. Sad times. But there will be a castle coming for Dogao. I think the castle will go up, but ACCM clicks up. How many TCs is he gonna build here, dude? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 TC gaming. He just won't stop. I mean, and he's imping. He has 15 Ghoulems. Maybe if he gets elite, this could work. Dogao's knights aren't necessarily doing it. Dogao doesn't know that there's eco down here. There's no clue. Crazy. But the castle's going to go up. Dogao will find another TC, and he's probably like, are you kidding me? Dogao's going to go all-in knights here? Full armor, 5 more knights in queue. Let's go, Dogao. I like this. But, guys, if at any point he is not, like, forcing immediate reactions from his opponent, he will die. Look how many vills he has exposed. Ghoulem raids would be horrible for him to deal with. Also, Dogao doesn't see any of these golds yet. So he actually has big gold problems himself. But yeah, those vills are dead. These vills are definitely going to go down. ACCM doesn't care. He's just going to make more. 140 Vils. Is he gonna win this freaking game, man? It would be so ACCM to still somehow win. He can't really afford Elite Golem. He's losing so many Vils. That's a lot of Golems. Dogao needs to click up. Dogao hasn't gotten any relics behind this. That's a scary Golem army, but maybe Dogao would just fight them now? Like, especially if you see your opponent hit Imp. I think you want to engage against this now. Let's see. There are monks there, though. ACCM just rat moding, repairing, praying to keep these Vils alive. He still doesn't have Elite Golem. Dogao might assume that upgrade's about to come in. I think this is a fine fight for Dogao. Let's see. The Vil count's not good, but I think this fight is still fine if these Golems aren't elite. Once they're elite, it becomes a problem. Yikes. TC actually has 10 kills. Dogao will focus down. Oh, he focuses down the monks, but he loses his knights. There are some raids over here as well that we missed. Dogao actually found a lot of ill kills. There's lots of garrisons there from ACCM. And now he completes Elite Golem, but he only has 15. So Dogao has 100 Vils, ACCM at 140. Dogao a minute away from him, but the Golems are really strong now. Also, Dogao's now in a situation where he has to make knights against the Civ with strong camels, which is dangerous long term. Crazy from ACCM. He's lost 45 Vils, and he still has a 30 villager lead. And now you've got 8 Pierce Armor, and you've got 70 HP and 11 base attack. Dogao will send more knights over this way. He still can't see any of these golds. Man, outposts would be his best friends. He needs a Ron again. The outpost in the north was huge. The fact he's missing both those golds is really unfortunate. The Golems will clear up the ECA, but the Knights find some kills on ACCM. Now ACCM's running through with the Golems. Dogao will need some time to get Cavalier and attack. There's no better time for ACCM to be finding some fights. But are Golems the answer against Knights? I'm not really sure. The Golems just melted to the Knights. Villagers stay on gold for Dogao for the time being. He really needs defensive castles right now. Like, these Golem raids are only going to continue. So a castle here would be really valuable. Nice raids from Dogao. What a game. What a game. Oh my god, he's everywhere. He's on every TC. But also, ACCM is about to be everywhere as well. We're about to see them both lose 50 Vils. These Vils may die. These Vils may die. It's crazy though, guys. Dogao can't see the golds. The fact that he has no gold right now is such a big issue. And these 3 Golems have killed 10 Vils. It's 150 Vils for ACCM. He always has TCs to make more. Who cares if you lose these Vils? Who cares? You've got Vils to replace them with. Dogao can't afford to lose any more Vils, and he is. It's hard to produce Cavalier and Villagers at the same time. It's just, I think the difference in the setup, ACCM's done such a good job setting up his base to keep his eco pumping. And for Dogao, that's been really tough as he's been trying to counter his opponent. But yeah, there he finds the gold. I think ACCM needs to treb this castle down and then raid the other areas. You don't even, like, beyond trebbing this castle down, I don't think you need siege for the rest of the game. He's going to switch to camel now, apparently. Dogao, he's got his Cavalier here to match the Golems. And he's also got Cavalier here to take out the TCs. This is so funny, man. I keep thinking ACCM's going to win because he can always make more Vils. But he's spending so much time making more Vils and garrisoning in his TCs, he can't actually get the army count now. And the Cavalier are holding this. What a performance. The vacation kitchen sink micro from Dogao. 30 Cavalier on the map. ACCM has too many TCs to keep track of. He's lost 30 more Vils. But now Golem raids are here. Heavy camels are here in defense. He is Hindustanis after all. And Dogao might need to go Cav Archers again. I actually think rats and archers would be the ideal unit. 140 villagers have died. And many more are going to die because Dogao just won't let him rest. Say goodbye to another 14 vills for ACCM. Is he producing villagers faster than he's losing them, though? I think he might actually be. Like, he'll lose 10 vills, and then he just has 10 more vills to replace it. Because he has these TCs. Like, he was at 145, and now he's at 141 after losing 14. He's got camels. He's got a treb. Dogao has to repair. I love this castle from Dogao. Dogao's idle TC is really hurting him, though. Like, he needs to get more vills out, but he's also killing so many vills. How can I be critical? What is this game? Can they both be dead? I think I prefer ACCM's position because he has more vills, but he has not shown me that he's going to actually keep them alive. Dogao has just slaughtered another 25 villagers. He's killed 140 in this game, and he could still lose because ACCM is Hindustanis with cheap vills, and he's got camels, and he's got the Ghulams, and ACCM's got the better setup. The defensive castles are way better. Dogao will dive to snipe the Treb. He'll get it. Oh, barely gets it. That was expensive. And yeah, Dogao doesn't have... He just doesn't have the eco to make more army right now. Whereas, somehow, ACCM does. See, TC count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he's lost like 3 TCs and he's still on 6 TCs. And he's bringing in relics. He's got the castle set up in the middle and the corners. The next thing he's missing for good late game control would be a castle down here. I mean, Dogao's raids were what was keeping him in it, but I just don't know now if he can keep up with this. This is good from him. Like, this castle's good, but he needs a couple more almost. He loses this castle, I think he's just going to lose full control. How can someone lose 140 vills versus 50 and always have the villager lead? I just... it just doesn't really make sense, man. It's the same thing ACCM was able to do against Capoch in some of their games in the first round. And now he's not losing vills constantly. And if he's not losing vills constantly, he's going to get some crazy techs. Grand Trunk Road and Chautauqua on the way now. We might even see Imp Camel. He'll have hand cannons here to protect the Treb. Dogao's going to essentially be on full Halb now to counter the camels. And if the hand cannons are there, the hand cannons will be an answer to that. Wonder if ACCM's agreed here. And aspects of how he played this was also maybe because he just felt like... I don't know. I don't know if you play it this way because of the Hindustanis. Maybe I'm reading into the whole Dogao being on vacation thing too much. But it's just it's so typical for ACCM to have this fight. Yeah, Dogao's best unit now would be Rats and Archers. 100%. But he's 30 vills behind, and he only has 2 castles. So, I really wish ACCM would have waited for more Trebs here. If he would have just waited for 3 or 4 Trebs, this castle would have been down already. But he's fine, man. Sneaky range, sneaky stable, walls in the vills. He's got outposts down here. He knows Dogao's down here with vills. I'm seeing some more units head that direction to raid it. And 9 range hand cannons now for the Hindustanis. And crazy resources for ACCM, though he has to back away. He is still repairing his treb. He is bringing in a bombard cannon. Dogao's now out of stone. The buildings will go up here for ACCM. Dogao's being raided at his main base by some light cav. Dogao cannot lose this castle, and I think he knows with how what his pop looks like right now as well, and the fact he's up against hand cannons, I think he knows this castle is everything for him. It's just not going to happen. ACCM 145 vills, exactly how he likes it. Castle goes down. Raids continue. Here's some raids from Dogao, but it's hard for me to be excited about him killing ACCM's vills anymore. If it didn't work before, I don't see how it's going to change anything now. You just can't kill ACCM. Doesn't matter. The game is going to go imp every single time with ACCM. He's perfect from a content creation standpoint, actually, because, well, I guess if he kills you fast, it doesn't go imp. But sometimes we want some slightly longer sets so more people can show up and see the action. ACCM's doing me a favor right now. Okay, I love Imp Skirm. And this could get to a point where Imp Skirm can be really dominant, but that's such a problem if the opponent still has Golem. ACCM will look at this, and he says, doesn't matter, I'll just make 20 more vills. This is the only game where you'll look at this, and this is not actually exciting for Dogao. Who cares? He doesn't need vills. He doesn't need those vills anyways. Those vills are replaceable. Archer range is here, massing hand cannons. They'll eject here in a moment. There they go. So the forward buildings will accomplish something. And, oh, Dogao could get a massive shot. Actually, this is a good engagement. He's got the Imp Skirms on the hand cannons, and he's sniping the trap. Hold up. It's a very costly engagement for ACCM. ACCM actually has 0 on gold right now. Whoa, there's only 1,400 gold left on the map. What? Okay, so if this becomes a trash war, advantage Vietnamese. The hand cannons are super pricey. That will be relic number 3 for ACCM. He'll have an advantage there. Can Dogao hold this? This corner still feels lost. It's still not an area you're going to have. You're still exposed down here to raids, which should be constant. It's 70 on food for ACCM. And that's quite a few light cav that will be streaming into Dogao's base. A base that only has 1 castle. Just this castle here. It's the only form of defense he has. I think there's a lot of things that could be a good idea for Dogao. Paper money would be one of them. Rats and archers would have been another, but a lot of this, he just has been under so much pressure, and he has never been able to float resources, so he's never really had the time to get to what you might suggest. He's now stuck solely on Imp Skirm. Like, he can't even afford to make Imp Skirm and Halb, really. And ACCM, 69 on food, more stables coming up. Getting what's left of this gold now. And I just think he's going to raid Dogao to death here. I think you can go Skirms and Hussars, and Dogao should have no chance from here. Because there's too many areas to protect. And then the castle setup for ACCM is perfect. I'm actually a little surprised that he's castling here. I thought maybe a castle down here would be better, but still, I mean, there's just so much safe eco for ACCM. Dogao's pop is rising, 150 pop. But how many times can one react to these raids before they feel like they're just out of it? ACCM ejects from the stable. Go get more Vill picks there. More Vills die over here. More buildings for ACCM. More Hussars on the way. There's always exposed economy for Dogao. Always. He needs to push. He needs to break ACCM in some way. He needs to take a castle or something. I just don't know if that's going to happen. And it's a frustrating situation to be in. Because you're like, I have the counter unit. I have Halb. It's like, great. Well, good luck affording them forever. Because the Hussar player can afford them forever. Because his farms are safe. So you can react all you want. This is not going to work well for you. And I think Dogao's surely going to tap out here soon. First game of the series. Probably wants to warm up a little bit. But I just don't see an easy way back. And he should know. With his Treb going down there. If the Bombard Cannon follows as well. Oh, man. 2 Bombard Cannons? Like, this is the only way that he had any chance. Is somehow a push through the middle or something. He's at 100 pop. He's still fully surrounded. And the GG's called. What a game. I mean, in the end, you look at the Eco KD, and you think that this is a pretty back-and-forth rating game. But the economic kills for Dogao throughout this game were just ridiculous. But ACCM's approach was just reproduce, and he had More TCs than I'd seen anyone build this season in one single game. He went up to like 8 TCs at one point. I think he even lost 3. And despite losing the Vills, he always had the villager lead. And he just fought and fought and fought and fought, man. And I think Dogao lacked a little bit of it felt like he needed 10% more speed, 15% more multitasking potentially. There was so much army, which I don't think was bad, but the main thing from him is he didn't know where to use the army. And where he needed to use the army was on the extra areas. I really think this is a case of if Dogao would have outposted more, I actually think he still wins this game. I want to go back and look like, okay, so now the TCs are up. So this is just the moment where Dogao noticed these TCs. These TCs were here for a while. I think if these outposts were here earlier, and then he also had this Vil expanding to get outposts, found this, could use that army. It's 43 army versus 14 at this stage. He's able to actually harass, and ACCM has to respect it. But ACCM didn't really have to respect it. He could always run back to his base. He could always sneak another TC up. And unfortunately, once Imp came in, the CA weren't really a factor anymore, and then Camels could be the play there from ACCM. But still, that's a ridiculous game. That's an absolutely ridiculous game. I want to see total Vil count throughout the game. ACCM had 298 total villagers that game. 98 population over your full pop cap was just Vils. His current amount was 135, and he lost 160 plus because just Hindustani things. KD was close. Economy was actually very close. Dogao had a lot more gold and stone control, but he just didn't have momentum, man. ACCM just grinded him down. And that's what he's done so far this season. So, messy games to start it all off for Dogao so far. ACCM has just been a beast in defense. And last time he played Catbotch on this map, he went for crazy walls. And he lost tons of Vils. But kind of like his first game against Dogao here, it didn't end up mattering. Now, ACCM's a little bit closer towards the corner here. So you can wall to the edge of the map. In some ways, a little bit easier. You could potentially lock down a little bit more space. But all of his stone and gold is forward, which is a bad aspect of his map. Dogao doesn't have a corner per se. You can still wall to one edge of the map. Golds and stones, everything exposed. Wood lines are just horrendous. Like, Kilimanjaro is meant to be about early damage. But, you know, both these players are probably just going to wall it. They'll probably wall to protect what they can. And then it's all about fighting for control. And usually on Kilimanjaro, it's about fighting for the hill. And ACCM's Tatars. So the Tatars do more damage when on top of the hill. Channel points are coming in if you guys want to bet on who you think will win this. So far, I just want to see somebody kill ACCM. That's honestly where my brain's at. It's like, can anyone in this group kill him? Because clearly they can kill Vils. Clearly they can have an army lead. Clearly they can have map control lead. But no one can actually finish him off. He never dies. So until I see it, I am not going to believe that this guy can lose a game. Actually, I just had a thought. MBL versus ACCM, when that set happens, that might be the longest set in Titans League group stage. MBL's impossible to kill. ACCM's impossible to kill. The game might go on for a while. That might be 7 TC versus 7 TC. Bombard towers. The occasional getting housed. Megan L micro. Hussar raids. I don't know. Com, thank you very much for the prime. What's up? Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Chrisuk. Welcome back. What's up? I'm doing good. You know, just hanging out, just watching civilizations get slaughtered. Nothing really new with me. This pond is very interesting. I just noticed that in the mini-map. But I guess... I don't know. I guess it doesn't actually look like anything. We did see freaking Andy drop a dock on the starting pond with the 2 fish. I don't think that's really worth it, though. I think it's better to just maybe place a mill there. But actually, Dogao places his mill here. Resolute Lover says, hey guys, what happened to Hera game? The game's already happened. So you can watch the VOD, or you could wait for the YouTube videos. We had some good games today. We started off the day with who did we? Why am I forgetting who we started with today? What is wrong with me? Oh, we started with Nikov Classic Pro, which was a banger. Then we went Harris Ito. You can check Liquipedia if you want the results, or you can watch the VOD. I'm trying to encourage my chat not to spoil things in chat, because there are going to be people who just got here. So say sup if you like just got here and you kind of want to watch the Harris set later. That's an example. I get it. It's much easier to show up to a Twitch chat and ask, but also you could just look at the results on Liquipedia, and then people who want to watch the VOD later and still enjoy this live could potentially not get spoiled. But I mean, if you're looking at a live chat online, you're usually probably going to be spoiled. So I'm not gonna ban people, but still. The VOD is on Twitch. It is. Yeah, you can always watch my VOD while I'm streaming if you wanted to. So you could go, you go to the videos tab, you go to past broadcast, and it does show the current broadcast. You can go through it. I don't know if it's always full quality, but that is always possible if you wanted to try that. Murphy's Law says, I come here for all of them and the live commentary / chat. It makes the games way better. I got you. Well, you're Twitch staff. You're a full... You've got the staff symbol next to your name. Is that not part of your job? I don't actually know what you do for Twitch. I don't even know if you're still Twitch staff. Maybe they left the logo there. That'd be very Twitch-like. But, you know, I'm just giving my people the options. Semtex, thanks for the new sub. And lots of new subs. Some people come in from YouTube as well. All right, here's one. How many people are new here from Facebook? I laugh, but there were more people that started watching me live on Facebook than I would have expected. I thought it was a meme at first, and I was like, wait a second. These people never watched me on Twitch. And then when I came to Twitch, there were people who were coming to Twitch for the first time. So some people actually did. I had a lot of fun on my Facebook days. I know it's easy to be like, T90 sold out, yeah, he must have hated it, whatever, right? I really had a lot of fun. A lot of good memories. Obviously, there were some really frustrating aspects of the platform, and it did hurt to still leave Twitch when I did, and how I did, and some of the stuff that went down. But, dude, I don't regret that at all. I had a good time. So, stable for ACCM. And stable for Dogao. And the difference here is I think he's going to need to wall up. If you can't kill your opponent, you need to make it that they can't kill you. And clearly you're not going to be able to kill ACCM. He's already walling. So I think Dogao is going to have to do the same. Leaves his shorefish here. We'll transition into some farms. Didn't snag horse collar in the previous game, and I really think that hurt him. Now he's also housed. Yikes. Yeah, little shaky here for Dogao at the start. ACCM going for the big walls. He's going for walls that are big enough to include the golden stone, I guess, which makes sense. Murphy's Law says, I'm the person who writes systems that collect all the infrastructure and data logs to prevent people from getting all of your data. I wish I was paid to watch Twitch. That would make it even better. Really? So you're telling me that Amazon actually cares about people not stealing others' data? Or at least Twitch does? That is very surprising. Are you just paid to say that? Is that true? I don't know if I could trust you. I feel like you were paid to say that. Angry Jeff's in chat. Can you use that emote without getting fired, by the way? Yeah. The scouts coming up, walls coming up. P2 camping, what's up? Thanks for the prime. Walls are coming down from Dogao. It was a little rough there to get housed at that time, but you're Portuguese. Things should be pretty good. And he runs up the hill and runs immediately into the scouts from ACCM. Okay, so here's the issue, guys, with this matchup and how this game is playing out, right? So Portuguese, they don't really have the best cav archers, and Tatars have one of the best. So this full wall scout type of opening is perfect for cav archers. Ideally, you don't want those walls so you can go scouts into archers as the Portuguese. And oh my god, now the scouts are going to get through! Like, this is a frustrating one for Dogao because ACCM has made it look so easy. He's fully walled already. They're both doing the same thing. And now it's just more of a headache for Dogao than anything to have to deal with this. As long as he doesn't lose the Vil, it's probably fine, but he does drop the range now, and he is on gold, so ACCM will see that. Dogao fights this off. There's a Vil in there that's very weak. But ACCM loses the 2 scouts. And Dogao garrisons and will probably eventually kill this scout, and he does. Okay. So I was worried for Dogao. That was annoying. Really annoying. But now ACCM has no army. And ACCM's golds are pretty exposed here. Did we just harass somebody from Twitch staff and make jokes at their expense? Was that a smart play from me, chat? I think that's not a smart move for me, but it's all right. He's been around a long time. He knows not to take it too seriously. There seems to be a theme here with Dogao and ACCM where ACCM goes for the heavy eco approach and he'll really resist the switch into a range. Obviously, he's done that now, but still is much later. And then Dogao, he seems very late on farm transition compared to his opponent, but he goes for the double range. Now, I wanted to see if he saw the gold position. So he knows about this one, and he'll be very happy to see this one. This is actually huge for him. But I haven't been impressed with Dogao's economy. The micro is good. The army mass that he's adding is good. But really, I think you're expecting better economy behind this. Only 12 farms is pretty wild, and we see a tower from ACCM now. Yeah, if you guys see me back on Facebook tomorrow, you'll know why. You know the funny thing? So it's not... I don't know if it's funny or not, but... So on Facebook, there was a schedule feature, right? And I updated that the last 3 months because it was a Titans League season. But when they removed my partnership at the end of my contract, it doesn't let me edit anything. So my schedule always says, it always has a countdown if you were to go to my Facebook page saying I'm going to be live. And I tried to reach out to someone about that, but I really don't know if they're investing into streaming at all anymore. I guess I didn't do good enough. And so maybe we killed the live streaming aspect of the platform. I don't know. But it's just there. And I had a Facebook message. I checked the messages. People reach out there sometimes. And he was like, bro, I've been trying to watch your streams. I've seen you have a schedule. And I know Titans League is happening. But you're never live. So I think somebody was watching the YouTube videos. Thought I still streamed on Facebook. And just kept waiting for me to be live there. And just didn't understand I haven't been there for over a year now. So, man, I have to say, I respect ACCM so much, but as a player, I would be so annoyed to play against him. This is just old-fashioned grit style. We used to call this... So, walling used to be much better in very high ping scenarios. And a lot of the Chinese players back in the day used to be known for the full wall. Walls were also much cheaper. Like, I know, like, the Great Wall of China is a thing, but it was actually a Chinese style to full wall sneak archers. It's super frustrating to deal with. And honestly, the Vietnamese players are in the same boat. And it just reminded me of that. And now the crossbows find damage. I'd be so frustrated if I'm Dogao right now that I just lost that Vil. You try and break them. You can't break them. And then they somehow have less army than you and find the damage. I mean, Dogao needs a response for these crossbows now. ACCM, sniping the archer on the front, is in Castle Age. Will probably drop TC number 2. This just seems so tough for Dogao. I mean, it'd be one thing if I didn't see the first game. There is a sense of inevitability right now watching ACCM play that he's going to get the job done. But nice defense there from Dogao. When crossbows move forward with confidence, Dogao has to fall back. He did build a tower here. Yeah, the list of players who kind of started the full wall sneak archer attack trend, pretty long. Most of those players aren't very active anymore. But I could rattle them off. Freezing Point just mentioned Tim. Tim is the classic where... So, Viper throughout his whole career, win or lose, has always been one of the most respectful individuals you can run into. Very rarely showing frustration or salt. But Viper, like, early on in when his reign was beginning, I think this was 2013 or something, he had a game against Tim, and Tim went full Stonewall every game, and Viper dropped the GG well walled. It's so funny to me because I know Viper would... Horrible things could happen to Viper in game these days. He would never, ever, ever say that, right? Like, but, you know, young Viper dropped the GG well walled. Always remember that. He's like, he's got a personality flaw. Let's remember it forever. He had a bad moment. 2 ranges from ACCM. Still hasn't dropped the TC yet. He's going for Siege now, actually. And Dogao, I mean, look at this. Dogao is chasing these crossbows to the corner of the map. We'll see if he ends up getting the kills there, but nope. That is ACCM. This is ACCM. Look how far Dogao has had to chase him. Okay, he'll get the kills now because Ballistics is in. That's crazy, man. So now Dogao's not really in position to contest for the middle. Dogao will feel as though he's in a good spot, and then he runs into a Mangonel. Yikes. Yikes! No, that's horrible. He didn't know about the siege being there, and it was so well timed from ACCM. 3 of those skirms are basically dead already. Now it's a literal and figurative uphill battle now for Dogao. ACCM will take the hill between them. Siege crossbow, ballistics. Thumb rings, of course, in for free for these crossbows. And still on stone as well, so this might eventually be a castle. And Dogao will now see the TCs, waiting for his own siege, and this is brutal, man. ACCM just beat him right to the next thing he needed, and Dogao just taps out. Yeah, I mean, the first game was crazy. Dogao did so much damage, couldn't get the job done. And now he's looking at this hill against Tatars, directly between both of them. He doesn't know what to do. And I know the population's close, but this game is over. You just can't stop this anymore. Any direct hits you have with your own siege on ACCM's Mangonels won't get the kill. Any hits he gets will get the kill. He's got the TC locked down. He's got the control. He's got knights. I mean, this is most likely over. With only 4 crossbows in the group, even this knight, well, not that knight, but a future knight or more knights, which would be on the way, would probably take care of that. And so ACCM undefeated so far in Titans League. That was Dogao's home map 2. And we'll move into game number 3. It's still so important for Dogao to get the win. Well, having said what I just said, ACCM can't exactly be very defensive if this is the map, can he? The theme has been ACCM full walls, ACCM sneaks armies, ACCM causes problems. This is Rocky Forest now. And Rocky Forest has this rock terrain, which I think they're actually playing on the old version of the map. They're definitely playing on an old version of the map. Whoops. But anyways, the rock terrain there blocks where you could build walls. So you could, like, still wall along the front, but you can't wall directly to the wood line. ACCM's gone for the Romans. And then Dogao's gone for the Magyars. So I'd expect Dogao to probably be as aggressive as possible with scouts. Again, we updated the version of the map. So it's more clear where the rock is and where the rock isn't. I think it's also balanced a little bit better as well. But that was the only change we made to it. So maybe they just didn't update their map pack or something. I think this is a pretty good situation where we could see lots of Scorpions from the Romans. Usually the Magyars want to play into Cav Archers and Castle Age. And that's definitely Dogao's style. So Dogao might want to go scouts into CA. And the Romans have kind of some military options apart from infantry and Scorpions. So You could see pikes. You could see knights. That's still good options here if this turns into a night war. But I would expect that maybe ACCM does play defensive with some scorpions. Our base says this was played before the update. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, so that would make sense. Maybe these games were played like 4 or 5 days ago or something. Yeah, like Dogao basically decided he'd rather go down fighting than just be given an admin loss. And that could potentially be, I mean, thousands of people are seeing him, and thousands of people may see him struggle more than he might otherwise. So I respect it. But also, there's still decent amounts of money here. And $40 per win, of course, is good, but there's still decent enough placement prizes. So far, ACCM has just simply been unkillable. And I'm inclined to say that ACCM might go undefeated in sets in this group. At least from what I've seen so far. Obviously, he will at least win this set, even if Dogao gets the win, which Floripa's going to want. Legend of Floripa, what's up? Thank you. Floripa dropping the subs to hopefully give Dogao some energy here. And Dogao pushing in the deer from the middle. They're both pushing in the deer from the middle. The berries from ACCM is very exposed. Dogao's got nothing directly at that opening. What's up, B-Muffle? Yeah, B-Muffle, this is the last series of the day. So after this set, there will be 2 more sets in the round. They will be tomorrow. It is Tato Capoch tomorrow, and then Doubt Leary. And those are some big sets as well. Because Capoch still hasn't found a win yet. Because he got swept by ACCM. So he needs wins against Tato, who's going to be hungry to catch up to ACCM. And then Doubt has yet to get a win. Doubt got swept in his first round. And Leary was the one doing the sweeping. So, I think, like, odds are very high right now with how good Leary's playing. That if Doubt doesn't bring his A game tomorrow, that he could get swept again. Been really impressed with Leary's play. And then it's like, so the funny thing in that group for me is that Margugu and Doubt trash talk each other so much. And they both have probably been thinking about hoping the other person gets relegated. But what if they get relegated together, guys? Does that just form a special bond between Doubt and Margugu to last the end of time? Everyone thinks it's going to be Doubt versus Margugu, and Margugu's saying he's going to be better than Doubt, and Doubt's going to be better than Margugu. There's 2 relegation spots. We'll see. But yeah, it was so funny. So, 2 separate times at 2 separate lands when I've shown up to the bar or whatever. The one time it was at the Shisha place. The one time it was at kind of the like caster player area, and everyone had a beer. I walk into the group. It's like a group of who was it? Margugu. I think it was Mista, who's a AW4 player. It was Doubt. ACCM. It depends on the time, right? There was a bunch of different instances. So anyways, I just walk up and Margugu is like, T90, 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 come here. 5 years. Who's better? Me or Doubt? And Doubt looks at me with his death stare. Like, Doubt's like, if you say Margugu, I will murder you, right? So obviously, I'm way more scared of Doubt. Doubt's like 6'9". Margugu's like 5'2". So obviously, I'm terrified Doubt's going to physically harm me. So I sided with Doubt. But it's just multiple times. That conversation comes up every single time. Who's going to be better over the next couple years? And Doubt's just like, there's no way. He's like, if Margugu's ever better than me, I retire. And now they're in the same group. It's so funny. So there's actually a way to determine. And then they play each other the last round. It's so sick. Sorry to digress away from this, but it's so sick that they play each other last round this season. It's going to be perfect. So both players going scouts. T90, why bring the deer to the TC instead of the mill? The idea is you want your villagers to not have to move away from the TC for as long as possible. Because right now, they don't have enough resources for all of these villagers to build farms. That's basically it. So if you push the deer to the mill, it's still probably somewhat fine. But then a lot of vills underneath your TC run out of work. So that's essentially the logic. So I think we might see armor rather early here from ACCM. You get double armor upgrades on any of your infantry, and there's Magyar scouts out and about. So he's got the blacksmith now. That could be for forging, but I think he's just going to snag the armor upgrade. Because players with Magyars they're really going to want to just dive on your individual spears, but the second they're armored up too, it gets really tough. Yeah, Chomsky, you obviously are going to put your villagers on straggler trees once you finish the deer, but it just delays that point for as long as possible. The Romans have the additional efficiency, 5%. 5% is huge in Age of Empires 2. And so if the Magyar player doesn't get damage done, it should be better for the Romans. Economically, at least. Dogao gets housed. Dogao would have 1 win of potential 6 to start off. That would not be good enough. He needs kills, and he gets a kill. And before ACCM gets armor, not that that would have made a big difference. Did Dogao get horse color in the previous game? Can someone remember? Game 1, I felt like he should have gotten it because he was Vietnamese and had eco bonuses for it. Now, this game, I actually am okay with him skipping it because this is a more intense, aggressive game where the army needs to come out faster. But, okay, chat's saying he did get it. Got it. Okay, never mind. I sniped. It was just notable he didn't snag it compared to ACCM. But he also is up very fast and he doesn't have Romans. Oh, man. ACCM. ACCM. Oh, man. He loses the 3rd Vill to these same 4 scouts. These scouts are incredible. There's so much for the armor on the spearmen being something to get excited about. It's not done anything, right? Because Dogao has just avoided it all. Great micro. Also love this from Dogao. This tower on the wood line protects from any units coming through. Also protects the gold behind it. Eventually, he'll want a new lumber camp there, but he needs to chop a couple more trees. Here comes ACCM. He'll run into the tower. So he just can't advance through there yet. He is getting forging now. His scouts will be really strong. The guy might be tempted to hop out there to hit those spearmen. Let's see. There's a lot happening. He's still microing his scouts, and ACCM finds some reward. Nice snipe. Here, the spear. Wow, you see how tanky that spearman was against Magyars? The spearman gets 2 kills. It's wild to me that ACCM has lost 3 vills. I guess their vill count's actually even because of some idle TC time, but he's collected 500 more resources, and Dogao kills another spear. But ACCM's done a really nice job. Dogao's archers need to come forward. There they are. They're unprotected, though. So if ACCM senses that range has ejected the archers, let's see if he does. Okay, he should know the archers are on the way and look for them with those scouts right now. And especially you could tell that Dogao is probably trying to meet up with those archers. Well, that opportunity's probably gone. The archers are going to make it here. Fletching is going to be in. Remember, this is not walled to that wood line. ACCM might tower now. ACCM doesn't have much of an attack happening here. ACCM brings all of his scouts back. Dogao does snipe the spears, but does he have enough scouts of his own here? ACCM has forging, and ACCM is going to kill it all. Every scout Dogao has here goes down. The archers may be able to make it back home, but I don't think so. Just more production here from ACCM. He actually produced more scouts than Dogao. Dogao stopped scout production. And in some ways, that might be natural if you want cav archers. That is kind of how I expect this matchup. But every single game I've noticed with Dogao, he's super late to adding farms, and he's always on double range archers. It's been the theme in every game. And then ACCM's got 19 farms, so it's 19 farms against 11. And then he'll add the range when he needs to. Just this is what most players are doing these days with our meta. And it's worked well for ACCM. part of it could just be that Dogao isn't quite as sharp. It could be an approach thing. Like, he doesn't think he can outboom ACCM, so he wants to go for the heavy army plays. But ACCM pretty much tied up the eco situation after the early losses. His resources are looking really good to click up. And he still might need a tower on his gold eventually, but he's in a really nice spot. Could be another 3-0. Yeah, Lessel, you always see the flag on the opponent's buildings. What you won't see, it won't change unless you re-scout it. So, like, you see how he doesn't see the flag because he didn't scout it? It's not going to change for you in the fog of war unless you confirm that. Wow, ACCM comes back for that Vil from earlier. And now Dogao's coming forward. So, I think ACCM will buy a tower now. Oh man, he's getting damage done. Dogao's got all of his spears on the front. Another villager goes down for Dogao. But yeah, I think the gold is going to be an issue. But I don't know if he knows the gold is going to be an issue right now. Still, so good for you. If you see your opponent's got even archers back home, you're just like, oh, those are 2 archers I don't have to deal with now. Dogao sees the tower. Does he dive? He knows this is bad, right? He's lost 2 games. Does it make him go underneath that tower? Doesn't look like it does. So he's moving around. And now ACCM buys the tower. Yeah, really well played. So yeah, now we're in a situation where we could just see Scorpions. Like, a couple Scorpions with Knights against this is really strong. I know it's not good for Dogao that he can't do damage on the golds, but it is good for him that his opponent isn't dropping TCs instead. So at least it delays the boom lead. ACCM scouts underneath the tower, backs away immediately. And now Dogao will see that ACCM has a tower here. Patience from ACCM. Knights are on the way out of the stables. I just feels inevitable, dude. Like, I'm trying to believe. But if Dogao didn't win the first game, how is he supposed to win from these positions? The Knights show up. The Knights get the clear up, and Dogao taps out. Rough start to TTL plat for Dogao. Again, he is away. He will be... I think he's back home. Like, he might be traveling back home, like, as we speak at the moment. These games were played a couple days ago. I believe he should... Whenever round 3 is for him, I think he may be back at his home setup. But even if he was at his home setup, I just don't know if anyone's stopping ACCM right now. He's just super quick to take advantage of any opportunity you give him. And he's in great shape. On every map we've seen, ACCM have a strat, ACCM be comfortable, or even if he's uncomfortable, find a way to figure it out. So... ACCM, one of 2 players so far, undefeated after 2 rounds. The other player to mention that's also been the most impressive for me would be Sebastian. Sebastian in Group A has been a beast. And Dogao, he's going to want that first game back. That first game was so close to victory for him. If he would have gotten the win there, he probably would be feeling so much better about his situation. So let's look at the group real quick. The info I'm going to show you guys is before we see the series tomorrow between Tato and Capoch. I think that's going to be really good. Capoch was another victim of ACCM. And it was also his first round, so maybe he'll be sharper. Tato looked great against MBL, but it didn't look unbeatable. I know Capoch will be ready to go, but ACCM 6 wins, MBL 3 wins, Vinchester 3 wins, and Dogao 1 win after 2 rounds. So Dogao really going to need to step it up for round 3, 4, and 5. And then Tato is at 2 wins after the first rounds. And then Capoch is at 0 wins. But again, they have a set here. So I would say Tato's the favorite against Capoch. I was thinking maybe a 2-1 for Tato. But yeah, Capoch is going to want more wins than that. And actually, when did Dogao and Capoch play each other? Ah, look at this. So we don't know what happens between Tato Capoch yet, of course. We'll find out tomorrow. But Dogao Capwatch already has the feel of loser is potentially relegated in this group. Unless they make a crazy run and really turn it around the last 2 weeks. So, pretty close group. 3, 2, 1, 0, and then we'll see what happens there. But ACCM, the player to beat in that group right now, man. And my predictions were that ACCM would win every single round. At least 2-1. That's how much I believe in him.